Hello, friends. I'm Geraldine Messiah Quincy, but folks around Westbrook, Mississippi, call me Granny D. I'm 87 years old, a little old lady, 5 feet tall, with sun-spotted skin and hands calloused from a lifetime of work. My hair, once jet black, is now white as cotton, always tied in a bun to fend off the southern heat. They say my brown eyes can see into your soul, a skill I honed watching, waiting, and surviving. Before I dive into my story, I want to know you. Where are you reading from? What's your name? Drop it in the comments. I like picturing my voice reaching corners of America I never saw. Maybe even someone near Westbrook who's tasted my jambalaya or licked their fingers clean after my pulled pork. Wouldn't that be something? I'd give you a hug if I could. Today, I live in a modest house on Westbrook's outskirts. Nothing fancy but a palace compared to the maid's closet I once called home. My pride is my yard, bursting with basil, oregano, rosemary, sage, mint, and medicinal herbs like chamomile and lemon balm, plants that heal, season, and once saved me. Tucked in a corner grows a small gyson plant, a quiet reminder of my past. My kitchen is my sanctuary, with a custom wood-burning stove like the one I used as a child. The smell of wood smoke and fresh herbs is my heaven. There I keep my greatest treasure, a worn wooden mortar and pestle, passed down from my grandmother. It's ground spices that built my reputation, and long ago, herbs that changed my fate. Its secret compartment once held something no one could imagine. Now it's empty, but its story isn't. My restaurant, Flavors of the Earth, is famous across Mississippi. From a rented room with a rickety stove, it's grown to 6 locations. Politicians, TV stars, and singers have savored my chicken and dumplings, my gumbo, my secret spices. But success hasn't changed me. I'm still Granny D, up early to gather herbs, testing recipes, hiring women who faced hardship like I did. Over 200 women, my heart daughters, have found their footing through my kitchens, becoming managers, entrepreneurs, chefs. Seeing them rise is my greatest joy. But my story isn't just about food. It's about survival, vengeance, and justice. For 60 years I've kept a secret, one I'm ready to share. Even my granddaughter, who's typing this, hasn't heard it all. So settle in, because this isn't a bedtime tale. It's raw, cruel, and real. A story of a girl who became judge, jury, and executioner. In 1952 I was 14, living in Brookhaven, Mississippi, in a shack with a dirt floor. My father died of a fever 2 years earlier, leaving Mama to raise 8 kids alone. Hunger was our shadow. We slept crowded in one room, but we had love, until poverty tore us apart. One day, Arthur Mendes arrived, a slick man in a shiny car, offering work at his Westbrook boarding house. He promised wages, a room, even school. For a starving family, it was a miracle. Mama, heart heavy, sent me off, one less mouth to feed. I packed my few clothes and my grandmother's mortar and pestle, dreaming of a better life. I didn't know I was stepping into hell. The Good Rest boarding house was a faded mansion, paint peeling, mold in the air. I shared a stuffy room with 3 other girls, Nora, Claudia, and Claire, all with haunted eyes. My days were grueling. Lighting the stove at dawn, cooking, cleaning, serving until midnight. When I asked about school or wages, Arthur laughed. "You owe me for the trip, food, bed," he sneered. "Try leaving. You've got nowhere to go." My birth certificate, handed over trustingly, vanished. I wasn't an employee. I was a slave. Soon I noticed the looks, not just from Arthur but from his friends. Colonel Justin, a cold-eyed farmer. Ambrose, a brutal cattle trader. Owen, the bank manager with a predator's smile. And Dr. Faust, the town doctor with fleeting shame. Once a month, under the full moon, they gathered for friends' dinner. A night we called terror. After food and whiskey they played cards, betting money, cattle, and us. Arthur would clap 3 times, summoning us to line up, heads bowed. They'd inspect us like livestock, betting on who'd choose first. I was 14, the youngest, always fought over. "Young, tender flesh," Justin would leer, his hand on my face reeking of cigar. The first time I screamed, begged, tried to run, Ambrose pinned me like a rag doll. They laughed, dragging me to Arthur's room, tearing my dress. 5 men against a girl. What could I do? Arthur went first, boasting he owned me. The others watched, drank, suggested ways to hurt me. Justin liked pain, pulling my hair, choking me. Ambrose was a drunken beast, his weight crushing. Owen humiliated, forcing degrading acts with a fake smile. Faust pretended it was a medical exam, as if that absolved him. They used every part of me, laughing, toasting, planning next time. Afterward, they'd discuss me like an object, ignoring my tears. The next day, they'd eat breakfast I served, acting normal, while I scrubbed their filth from my skin, knowing the full moon would come again. Claire, a girl my age, couldn't endure it. After a brutal night with Ambrose, she hanged herself with a sheet. Her body was tossed into an unmarked grave. Her death hardened me. I wouldn't break like her. I'd survive and make them pay. 6 months in, I tried to escape, slipping out a kitchen window with my mortar and pestle. I ran until my feet bled, tasting freedom. But Ambrose found me, dragging me back by my hair. Arthur called his friends to make an example of me. Tied to a chair, I was beaten. Justin's riding crop, Ambrose's rope, Owen's ringed hands, even Faust's reluctant slaps. Arthur's belt buckle tore my skin. They locked me in a damp cellar for 2 weeks, starved, surrounded by rats. Hope died there, replaced by rage. A month later, I met Miss Janice, an herb healer who sold remedies at the boarding house. Her sharp eyes saw my bruises, my fear. "I know what happens here," she whispered, slipping me a bag of herbs for pain. "I can't free you, but I can teach you." Every Thursday she taught me about plants, those that heal and those that kill. Gyson, a common flower, could be deadly in the right dose, leaving no trace. "Even the smallest herb can fell a big man," she said. I learned to dry gyson, boil it with alcohol, and hide it in my mortar and pestle's secret compartment. Plan formed. Slow, silent justice. They'd never suspect the quiet cook. I started with Faust, the doctor, least likely to raise suspicion. A pinch of poison in his morning coffee. Tasteless, odorless. For months, nothing. Then fatigue, joint pain, fevers. He blamed age, prescribed himself tonics. By month 8, he was found dead, mouth agape, from an unknown infection. I served pure coffee at his wake, watching. Ambrose was next. His drinking masked the poison's effects. Nausea, yellowing skin. A year later, he collapsed at a cattle auction. Liver failure blamed on whiskey. Justin, suspicious and tough, took longer. His cough worsened, breathing labored. After 21 months, he convulsed at dinner, dead from pulmonary emphysema. Owen hid his chest pains, fainting spells. After 28 months, a heart attack at his bank desk ended him. Arthur was last, the hardest. Kept doses small, patient. 3 years in, he was a shadow, organs failing. One morning I found him dead, coffee cup untouched. All organs failed, the doctor said, baffled. With Arthur's death, the boarding house collapsed. His nephew sold it, dismissing us with a month's pay. My first in 3 years. Free at 17, I had nowhere to go. Miss Janice took me in, teaching me to heal, cook, live. She helped me get a job at Country Flavor Restaurant, washing dishes, then cooking. My dishes, beans with secret spices, tender meat, drew crowds. Geraldine's food, they'd say. I saved every penny, dreaming of my own place. When the owner retired, Miss Janice loaned me her savings to buy the restaurant. I renamed it Flavors of the Earth, starting small, hiring women like Rita, fleeing abuse, and others, Josephine, Mary, Louise, Connie, each with a story of pain. My restaurant became a haven, a place to heal, learn, rise. At 32, I founded the Flavors and Knowledge Foundation, offering culinary training, diplomas, and hope. We grew, adding classrooms, dorms, a daycare. Over 200 women graduated, opening restaurants, bakeries, lives. Flavors of the Earth became a network, 6 locations strong, each a beacon for women in need. Do I regret poisoning 5 men? Never. They destroyed countless lives before mine. would have ruined more. Justice didn't exist for a poor girl in 1952. Their word, rich, powerful, against mine. I'd be dead or dismissed. I was invisible to them, a cook, a thing. That's why they never suspected. Was I a murderer or a deliverer of justice? What would you do knowing they'd hurt others? Tell me in the comments. I'm not a hero, just a woman who did what she had to. My mortar and pestle, once a weapon, now grinds only healing herbs, flavoring life, not ending it. To young women, trust your instincts. Watch for control, belittling, violence. Seek independence, money, skills, a network. Never let them steal your spirit. I'm old, my hands shake, but my heart's strong. I guide my heart daughters, tend my garden, and carry no regrets. I'm Granny D, and this is my story. Of pain, yes, but of strength, of turning poison into nourishment. Want more tales of resilience? Follow me. Wisdom isn't in books. It's in life lived. Let's keep talking, friends.